CBOs or community. But most of the cases, Union Parishad are not talking these people in their standing committees. They have, in Union Parishad, they have 13 standing committees. Okay. So we are trying to co-opt people in actually two committees, one environmental committee and other is fisheries and livestock committee. Fisheries and livestock committee actually deals with the wetland, and on the other hand, environmental and sanitation committee deals with the forest and other land. So we are trying to co-opt people in this committee because when leasing system, when they decide, when Union Parishad go for a leasing system, which is less than 3 acres, then these people can participate in them. These people can talk with them about their opinion, they can express their opinion, and can influence the decision also. So we have already in 36 Union Parishad, we have already from 36 Union Parishad standing committees and co-opted 71 CBO members in that. As a result, we got a good result in actually Magura, that I would like to share the case actually. What happened when we got these people? Actually, we and MSP also trying to introduce that Indian Parishad. MSP trying to influence to got these people in there. So what happened was in Magura's Carpool Union Parishad, they can MSP include the local people and they cooperative. In every year, the Union Parishad got some money, which they actually use for infrastructure development. But they're supposed to use this 20% money for fisheries development. So this year, the last 2011, when they got this money, then the CBO members are in that standing decision are making. Then they said they use this money for sanctuary development. Okay. Then they explain their decision. The CBO members explain their decision, and they consulted with MSP to talk with Pujala Nirvahi officer. So Pujala Nirvahi officer is the highest position of Pujala. He is actually the government employee. And there is another body, Pujala chairman. But nowadays he has no power. Government the structure is newly reformed. He has just 2 or 3 years ago, now it's a parallel structure. So it is established, Pujala chairman established in 1 or 2 years ago. Before that it was not in that. Only Pujala Nirvahi officer, the government body is actually taking decision. So what happened, this MSP and CBO members go to Pujala Nirvahi officer for allocating this money to the CBO for sanctuary stuff. They actually influenced and they took the Pujala Nirvahi officer to their site also. They did their site and they convinced them that if they establish a sanctuary there, the fishing force is double or triple. So fishery then convinced and he started to allocate 20,000 taka for that. Most of our cases I have already mentioned that the obstacles are when sometimes Pujala administration or Union Parishad is not so much cooperative. When that is why we do some powerful people in the NSP. They have some sorts of stake and they can vote. So when when a decision actually made taken in their opinion. So we are trying to actually resolve this problem by this way. This is actually working in some areas and some areas it's not working. Actually, Bangladesh government is trying to establish a local governance. But what is the problem? The person actually is responsible for doing this. We have most of them they have not enough capacity. How to manage, how to do it. Actually, not to the capacity. They have enough capacity. So this is one of the another obstacle.
Canals, wetlands, where the dry season you have these pools that we make. Pools are where the fish can produce. Historically, they used to have the reason for just extracting everything and sitting on, less production of fish. There is also sacred, sanctuaries have a sacred
Sanctuary actually we they established sanctuary to conserve fish, mother fishes. During dry season they will come to here and stay, and during monsoon they go around.
So the communities and the CBOs through their own effort have decided that they want to conserve these sanctuaries, and they've gone ahead and done that. Other things maybe you can explain more, I think also. There are the dialogue that was enabled through the NSP between CEOs and government. I think helps to do a lot of important things. Governments, as I understand, it's actually helped to overcome the problem of that service providers not being responsible. Another area where it's kind of been a big impact is on gender. And finally, on equity issues and also on that
From project we are trying to actually involve women in different communities. In MSP there are 25, we have 9 MSPs, the total number is 177, and we have included 25 women in these communities. This is not a big number, but at least we can able to have some women in these communities. The result, when we put these people in the community, we got some result. Actually, women are more vocal. And I want to share a case. Actually, in Chapu, there was a fishing ban during January to March. Then people cannot go to the river for fishing. Then for that, government also provide compensation to people. Before 2009 came, one of the CPO, which is led by actually Pumilaran Dash, one of our CPO members. Now she is the member of NSP also. They didn't give any compensation because they can't understand them in the compensation guidance. So when we formed NSP in 2010, in middle of the 2010, then she actually communicated with a number of local government and local administration through the NSP. Then this process actually raised her voice. She can communicate with now she can communicate with each other And what happens during every year this list is updated. Okay? Government should update the list. So when in 2011 they she communicated with the fisheries officer and other GM, general inquiry officer to enlist them in the list. And in 2011 they enlisted this CBO members in the list, and now they are getting the compensation. So this is the case.
Increase, no?
Yeah, yeah.
CBOs managed to get an increase from 50 to 500.
Firstly, they got 500 Tata. Now they are getting 3,500 Tata per month, and 30 kg of rice per month. That is a problem. That is a problem. Actually, they are not recognized by the government. There is a local civil society. Yeah. So, what we did, we actually put some people from government, local government. So they have some stake in a, say for example, Union Commission member is the member of Upazila Water Body and the County. So we took Union Commission member in the amnesty. Why we got the Union Commission member is very much cooperate. In every case we cannot think because all Union Commission member are not like same. When we find one Union Commission member is very cooperative, then we put it in the amnesty. So he can approach the decision. So this is our recommendation. Okay.
But I don't have much to say actually, because I think what we have learning from specific experiences about challenges, the lessons and all that. I just wanted to quickly take the work we are in terms of developing and strengthening our approach to governance and resources. Well, first of all, you know already that emotional governance is an important issue for it has been an important issue for national government. And the reason for this is that we have come to understand that decision making about national decision process fundamental in terms of the outcomes of conservation, but also in terms of the outcomes. And the fact is that currently in the world, in many places, or in most places in the world, and in most systems, the decision-making processes are not guaranteed in terms of the quality, the effectiveness, the fairness, and the outcomes, because of many factors. Factors like weak legislative frameworks, corruption, and also some traditional structures that sometimes are not favored by the areas. So we are in a situation where, because of many of these structural and historical factors, having good wishes is not enough for ensuring outcomes. The processes are not good. So that's why we have more and more, we're focusing more and more on governance. Now, as I said,
just explained. I think what he said is very applicable in many, many cases. There are several instruments and processes that can be useful to this. One of the key elements that we always find extremely important is to these processes that enhance participation of communities of people in decision making through access to better information, have the capacity to organize themselves to be represented in these processes, and have also the capacity to monitor and assess what's going on. Because very often what happens is that people are not informed, people don't have the means to evaluate what is being decided and what's being wrong and so on. So the question is, what kind of instruments can we have that enable people to understand better the situation and influence and monitor better the situation? And indeed, MSPs are a useful instrument that in many places of the world have proven to be very useful. They have different names and different configurations in each case, in each context. They have to be allowed to that in each context, of course. Like for example, in other cases, they create mechanisms called citizens juries, which are assemblies of citizens that are created in different places to discuss the issues and to get information about the issue, but also what to reflect about what's going on. So there can be different configurations, different roles. The essence is to create spaces for open possibility for people to come together, to share information, to discuss issues, to make proposals, to make decisions, and that to be represented in this process. That's the key area. Of course, another fundamental issue is the legal framework. In many cases, the legal frameworks in my own country, in South America, and although things have improved significantly in the last 1 or 2 decades, but still the legal frameworks are not enabling enough for a more participatory and accountable government. And it's really difficult to change the legal frameworks because then you have to wait for Parliament to decide on the new legislation and negotiate with politicians. It can be time-consuming, difficult, and the politicians and parliamentarians are not always interested in this kind of topic. So, of course, it is very important to have enabling legal frameworks, but it's not always feasible to do it in the short term. So the question is, you cannot modify the legislation in a sufficient way and quickly enough, what options do you still have to work, for workarounds that for developing mechanisms like again the MSPs that can help people improve the situation even in the absence of appropriate legislation. In the case, for example, of protected areas in my country, and that's the same in many, many other places, the same as in my country, the protected areas legislation, since it was established several decades ago, was never legislation that allowed participation in shared decision making. It's a legislation that doesn't give any rights to people in relation to protected areas, even if most of the protected areas are impacted by people. But legally speaking, people don't have any rights or any place for influencing decisions or management or getting benefits out of the areas. And when I was still working in my country, this was a big problem because communities complained, of course. But it was impossible to get. I was myself involved in several attempts to get the parliament to reform the law and to give the people the chance, the opportunity to have better stake in it. But it was completely impossible. So what emerged as one of the tools to improve the situation at the local level was the development of co-management agreements, which is also a very important tool in many places to create this space for communities. So, and these agreements were rather informal agreements because the law didn't allow for informal agreements, but were informal arrangements between the cooperative area manager at the local level and the representatives of the communities. And through these agreements, you know, a process of negotiating conditions, etc., started, and in the end, these agreements ended up being very useful instruments for determining, you know, what rights and responsibilities each of the parties have. And so people were then more secure in terms of saying, okay, this is what we can expect, this is what we can do, this is what we can do, and so on. So it means that, you know, even if legal frameworks are so important and hopefully will evolve